Excuse me. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. Okay. Give people a couple more minutes to join. It's a little foggy in the area, so just hang out for a minute. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. If you're on Zoom, if you have any questions, I don't know that I'll be able to see the Zoom meeting most of the time, but I will check it every once in a while. So just be patient if you're there, unfortunately. Sorry. But let me share my screen real quick. Alrighty. You should be able to see command. Now, the first question, and again, hold on, let's see. Somebody said something, I think. Oh, no, I'll fix that. Sorry. I got you. Thanks. Okay. Um, let's see. What was I saying doing here? Okay, let me. Okay, so this is what you'll log into. If you don't already have your KW login and stuff, I'm sure they'll get that to you soon. But this is where you'll log into, and always go to command.kw.com or agent.kw.com, simply because if you start Googling command login, it might take you to somewhere that's trying to steal your information. So just to be safe, always go to agent.kw or command.kw.com on either anytime you're trying to access command. And that'll take you to this page. So let's do a brief overview of the front page here. So you'll have your picture up here. This is your notifications. So this will be when you set up things and you start having things automated. You'll have tasks that you'll assign to yourself, and those tasks will show up here. And this is something that we'll get into a little bit later as well, but this is just so you can keep yourself accountable is the number one thing that this is for. So I'm going to mark all mine as red because they are old notifications. KWIQ up here is an AI thing for your command. That's a little more advanced. We won't get into that much today. If you have more questions about it, we can get you on some Scott Leroy videos and stuff like that. But let's start where we start over here. This is the main menu for this command. It's the main menu for command. So home's going to take you to this home screen where you have a brief overview of everything. Once you start setting your goals and you start getting your leads together, your appointments, your contracts and close, it'll start giving you numbers and you'll see where you're at as opposed to where you want to be. Your database health is a very important thing, so I would check this often. This will tell you what information you have about your contacts. So it's a good thing to have these three. The first three are very important things to have for each contact that you have: your phone number, your email, and your address. And then the address will naturally lead into you getting the neighborhoods that those people are involved with. So that is secondary to these three, but I'll show you that once we get a little bit further here. Your profit share, once you start getting people into your downline, this is where you can start seeing your money coming from that. And then when you are contacting your contacts, people you talk to a lot will show up down here. People, and one of the first things I recommend to you is to download the Command mobile app for your phone. That's going to be where you're going to upload all of your contacts. You're going to upload, or you're going to, excuse me, and you're going to do all of your messaging through that and phone calls through that, simply because when you make a phone call through that Command app, it'll ask you afterwards if you have any notes about that phone call. So it does most of the work for you at that point. You just got to be able to write some notes about what you just did on that phone call. And if you have questions about the Command app, it's a lot easier if I show you on a Zoom call on a one-on-one kind of situation for that, simply because it's hard to, I can't really share my screen of my phone on this Zoom, unfortunately. But that is the Command app is going to be your best friend in your real estate career. So the homepage is, like I said, just a brief overview. Once you start getting your contacts together and refined, it'll tell you how many people you've just never contacted, how many people you've recently contacted, who's got birthdays upcoming, which is something that you put in the information when you clean up your contacts after you upload them in mass. And then anniversaries are probably like, it's basically home buying anniversaries. So whenever you sell a home to someone, a year later you go, hey, congrats on the home. Just keep yourself top of mind with these people. That's the number one thing with your real estate career. Stay top of mind. Okay, so the next tab, let's go ahead and continue. And again, if you have questions, just let me know. Contacts. So we go to contacts, and it's pretty straightforward. This is where your contacts will live. So I don't have very many. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm just not. So it doesn't really make sense for me to upload my contacts here because I'm not going to be contacting them. But just to give you a brief overview, this is from the market center that I first started at. So if these names don't look familiar, don't worry about it because these are people from a different KW. This is obviously me, Robert Miller. In case you're unfamiliar, I am your tech trainer. That's why I'm here, excuse me, teaching you about Command. I'm not going to rate my experience today. So let's dig into a contact. So let's go to mine. So my contact health score is 96%. What does that mean? that means that I have so much information about this person that I know basically everything there is to know about this person. That's what you want. You want to know as much information as you can. But again, the most important things are the phone number, the email address, and then the address. Because the address, once you start doing the address, this little neighborhoods thing will pop up. And that was what that secondary thing I was talking about, the least important of the four, but it is still important. And I'll show you why when we get to smart plans as far as neighborhoods go. But once you put in a home address, it'll recommend a primary one. And then these other ones here are ones that would have popped up underneath here to add later, just to give a broad overview of the area that this house is in. So the first neighborhood is is almost always the neighborhood that house is in. The other ones are surrounding ones, and it doesn't hurt to have more than that in there. So then I have additional contact information. We got another email address. We got legal name. I got my Instagram in here, and that's not even right anymore. I've changed that. Birthday, home anniversary, relationships, all these different things. So when you are editing these contacts, this is what it looks like. So if you have someone in your contacts that is the wife of another contact or the husband of another contact, you can add the relationship so that when those names are added, it'll ask if you want to add that other person as well. And again, that's just another contact health score thing, just so you have information about these people. The more information, the better, like I said. So you're going to set a primary email address as, so mine is my KW email. So if you need me, robmiller1@kw.com. That's how you can reach me email-wise. This is my phone number. Please don't contact me that way. I'm kidding. You can if you need to. So lead source is a thing. If you got this as a lead from someone else, or however if you want to be able to track it, you can put where this lead came from here. And if it's a lead, like someone you think that you're going to be able to do something with soon, you can mark it as a lead and it'll put it in a separate category elsewhere in this command app. Tags are a great resource. And again, they can do as much as you want them to do. So the tags, KW is a tag that I used because this is a person who works at KW. It's me. And then you can use anything else. So just so you can search for people under these different tags. So when you upload from your phone app, one thing I recommend is to tag all those as, like, you can make a tag called phone upload or something like that. That way, if you're like, all right, let me make sure that I've uploaded this contact previously, you can search just by tags when you're searching through your database. So that way you can go, all right, this person was uploaded by phone. Let me just search that way and just see if I can find them that way, that kind of thing. So the tags are, and a real estate agent probably has a better idea of a better way to use a tag than I would. But the tags are, again, your imagination is the ceiling for these. So however you see fit to use these tags, they are here. You can make your own, but there are some default ones. So like buyer is in here, agent for another real estate agent, seller is in here. If you find someone who has an invalid email address, you can put those in a list. That way you can start going through them and finding the real email addresses. And then once you fix that, you take that tag off. All these different kind of things you can do with it. So that's the tags. Yeah, of course.
Do not pop up when we transfer that in my contacts in my phone, it has their address, their email address, and all that. But
What did it bring over? Just the phone number? Um, we can look at that later because I mean, it was my understanding that it imported everything, but it might not. But if that's the case, that's just something like when I told you. So basically, once you upload, the first step is uploading all the contacts like we did the other day. The next step is going in and cleaning them up. So it might just have to be part of the cleaning up process, but we'll see. We'll check that out after this. By the way, his question was, so just for anybody that's new and they haven't done this necessarily yet, his question was when he uploaded his contacts through the command app, which again, I can help you with that on a one-on-one situation because it's hard for me to share my screen for that, but it is a such an easy process to upload those. But once he did, it didn't bring all the information he had in his phone for them to the command app. And again, I'm going to check with him after this, and we'll see if I can figure out why. And it just might not do that. But if it doesn't, I will know that now. So we'll see. But then after these are, and again, the most important information is basically right here. The phone number and email address are your most important information. Like I said, the address is also important information, but that is obviously based on the interface here. The important information is a phone number, email address, and obviously the name. Now, additional contact information is where you can put in a primary address, and I highly recommend you do that simply because that is where you're going to be able to market to them fairly easily once a month or every other week, depending on how you want to do it. And I'll show you that smart plan in a little bit. And I'll explain what smart plans are also in a little bit. So you go through, I have additional emails here. You can note which way this person likes to be contacted, or if they don't want to be contacted. You have that option to put that so you don't accidentally contact someone and make them angry. You don't want to do that. So email, I have an additional email address. If I had another phone number to add, I could. We've got the street address. And I'll change my Instagram handle real quick. So there we go. That's fixed now. You can add more if you want. About. So I put my legal name and a description. It's me. Home anniversary, and then I can put a relationship with someone in here, my company name, my job title, just anything you want to put about somebody. If you have something that is not a field on here, you can add a custom field. This is your database, and it is for you to use however you see fit, whatever you need to do with it. So if there's something on here that you want to be able to have and it's not here, just add a custom field. It's that easy. So I'm going to save this because we did update my Instagram name. Now, will you ever use the social profiles part of a command contact? Probably not. But if you have it, might as well put it. Well, you never know when you might need something like that. So this contact health score is a 96%, which is really, really good. That's what you want to see this bar being green. A green bar means it's a healthy contact score, and that's important. That means you have the important information. So let's go. Hey, how's it going? So let's go back to contacts, and let's see if I can find one that's not a healthy contact. So this is a non-healthy contact score, and that just means I don't have enough information about this person. This person, it looks like I just have a name. Not a healthy contact because I don't know anything about this person. So 24%, that tells you how important the name is at least. So 24% of the health score is the person's name. Let's go back. I don't know that I have any. Yeah, most of these are just names in here. So, but again, you see the difference. 96%, I have all this information. Just keep your health score of your contacts in the green and you're good to go. That's the gist of it. And again, uploading contacts, you can import contacts from, I believe it's a CSV. I don't know what kind of file you need. Oh, you'd have to get a template. You can download the template here first to know how to, but getting them from, this is like if you wanted to import it from an address book on an email server or something like that, you can do it on here. But the easiest way for most people is going to be upload from your phone. And again, it might just upload name and phone number, and then you'll have to go through and clean it up, but we'll see how that goes. I'll figure that out after this. So that's contacts. It's pretty easy, straightforward. You can do with it whatever you need to. The tags part of it is as important as you make it. So if you don't want to use tags, you don't have to, but you're making your life not simpler. So that's completely up to you. That's completely your call. Next, we have tasks. Now, tasks are going to pop up. Actually, let's go to smart plans first because tasks will populate because of smart plans in some situations. So when you go to smart plans, you're going to have some already built in. And again, I'm not a real estate agent, so I did not mess with any of these smart plans other than just to look at them. So these are ones that are default whenever you start with KW. So the one that I recommend the most is the monthly neighborhood nurture or bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. And that it just depends on how often you want to bug someone. So if you want to talk to them every other week and send them this information, that's perfectly acceptable. It's your call. You might turn some people off because you're contacting them too much. So I like to recommend the monthly neighborhood nurture until you know who you're dealing with. And if it's somebody who wants to be contacted that often, go ahead and put them in the biweekly. But let's go ahead and see what this does. So I'm going to edit it. And most of these things, the edit button is the little pencil. So this is all this smart plan does is you're going to add people to the smart plan. It's going to send them an email. What this email does is every month it's going to send them a neighborhood snapshot. And what that neighborhood snapshot means is information about those neighborhoods that we put in from the contact tab. Remember when I showed you that it brought up the individual neighborhood, but then it gave you suggestions. So as long as you've checked these neighborhoods that this person's address is associated with, it'll send them information about those neighborhoods, like how much houses are going for in that neighborhood, how much maybe houses are on the market for, how much they've sold for. All that good information is going to be sent to them in one concise email, and it's going to be like a page of each neighborhood essentially. The monthly neighborhood nurture is probably the easiest one to set up once you know people's actual home addresses. That's the tricky part, is getting someone's home address without, creeping on them on the internet or asking them straight up for their home address, which could also be tricky. But all it does is it sends this email, and then every 31 days it does it again because that information could change over 30 days. You got a question? You good? Oh, okay. I can go back and show you real quick too. So on the line of it, you'll see the name of it. You'll see how many contacts are already on it, when it was created, how long that smart plan is, how many touches that smart plan has, and then on the right, there's add a contact and then edit. Edit smart plan is the little pencil. Now the three dots, you can, if you make your own smart plan that you're like, this is really good, people are going to want to use this, you can publish it to the smart plan library. But most of the time, there's already going to be a smart plan for anything you can think of. Most people I think the well has been tapped for most smart plan ideas. If you got something cool, great, awesome, good for you. And then publish it. Because if you go to library, which is where you can search for other smart plans, you're going to see hundreds, probably thousands of smart plans. So the featured ones are ones that KW is promoting because they think they're good ones, or they've had shown results. It'll tell you how many times they've been downloaded. So this one is a 14,000 download monthly call plan. It's probably a good one. Probably one to at least look into and see if it works for you. But there's so many on here. So the top row is just the recommended featured ones. Then we have the row of ones that are published by Keller Williams. And you can see this one's been downloaded 208,000 times. So this is that bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. This is the one that I was talking about where every other week it's going to send somebody that neighborhood snapshot, which could be perfect for your clients, but it could also be too much, which is why I recommend starting with the monthly neighborhood nurture and going from that. Top rated, see there's 4,000 top rated ones. So these are ones that are 5 stars, and it's probably ranked by the ratings. Here's new ones. Now, new ones, see, this has no ratings and no downloads. So it could just be a pile of garbage. It could just be awful. So you have to really check these out because anybody can publish a smart plan and anybody can download a smart plan. Just make sure it's a good one for you before you implement it. So the good news is if it's something you think you want, you can click view steps and it'll show you what it does. So the first one on this one is it's just to send in an email immediately. Just be like, hey, just thinking about you. Just want to let you know. 30 days later, it's gonna send this is from 2 other agents. So if you're trying to stay top of mind with someone out of the market to let them know, hey, I'm available for referrals kind of situation. This is what you could use. And then I got free leads. And so this one it looks like a every 30 days situation. So it's a yearly plan. That one's a little more complex. Obviously, it's got 12 touches. And see, even here, there's a Happy New Year 2022. So don't just grab things willy-nilly and use them, because if you get them, you can edit them. So if you wanted a 2026 New Year one, you could grab this and change the year potentially. However, I think this might be, so you can't know until you add it to your smart. Let's add this to my library, and I'm going to change the name just so it's easy to find. So I think most of them start, for some reason, start with the word my, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to put Happy New Year. So we're going to download that to my library. All it does is now this is in my smart plans, and it's usually the top one. And now we can see it and edit it. So what it's going to do, so see this one you don't want to send because you can't edit this. See, non-editable. So this one is not one that you're ever going to want to use. Now, the design of this, you can design your own situation like this, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit here. But since this is useless, I'm going to delete it. And then we'll go back to library. So this is how it works. If you have something you're looking for it to do, you can search the description of something. If someone recommends a smart plan to you and they give you the name of it, you can search for it by smart plan name. So like I said, it's basically, again, your imagination is the ceiling. So you can do whatever with these smart plans that you want to do. You just got to figure out how you want to do it. And if you have questions about it, obviously I'm available to, we can brainstorm. So we can figure it out together to do what you want it to do. But again, these first ones here are pretty good to start with. So this one here it's just like, hey, I just joined KW and it is a put together thing. So we can preview it. So anytime you see these asterisks in the name in the agent first name, that means it would put Rob Miller, my phone number, my email, and then whoever it's sending to, it would put hello, whatever their name is. These are and I can show you how we do that if we make our own. So that's all this smart plan is it just sends this email to everybody, just say, hey, I'm working with KW now. If you got any real estate needs you got, I got you kind of situation. So let's close that one. So let's say we want to make our own smart plan. Let's go into that real quick. So we just hit this create button. Let's just call it a test. All right. So things you can do with a smart plan. Create a task is a generic thing. So this is telling you to do something. It's like, hey, make sure you remember that this person's birthday is here. You can do this way. Or if you need to remember to do something every 30 days, you need to remember to, I don't know, or this could even be like quarterly. You're like, I need to pay my quarterly taxes kind of situation. You could create a smart plan to remind you to do that. So it doesn't have to be just interaction between you and another person. It could be anything you need to do within your business. Or if you need to tell this to remind you of your anniversary, you can do that too. It's completely your database. You can do with it what you want. So create a task is a generic thing, and it'll just bring up this. You enter the task name, and then you enter what you want the task to be kind of situation. So that one's generic. So let's do make a call. You'll put in who you want to call. And then whenever you get the task, it'll have a click button where you can call that person from there. And again, when you call someone through your app, it'll bring up the notes afterwards on that person so you can make notes of how the call went, what you discussed, what's next for this person kind of situation. So that's what the call is. Now, send an email. We'll send an email. It literally will send an email for you. That one is a free service. You write up an email however you would want to over here. It'll tell it who you want it to reply to. So this was you can tell it when to send this email and what day of the smart plan. So if you add someone to a smart plan and you have it day one, an email will be sent to them. Immediately sends an email as soon as you add them to the smart plan. And then that's email and smart tags. Is that a thing in here? No, I don't see that. Oh, merge tag. Merge tag is what I was talking about with that email, excuse me, where it would pull names or emails and all that good stuff. So if you want to say, hey, and then the person's name, you can put like this. So you would put, hey, space, and then I would put merge tag contact first name. And that's going to pull that contact's first name when you send this email. It's going to pull the name, put it in the email for you. So it's personalized to every person you send it to. And those merge tags are available for all these different things. There's last name, email address, phone number, birthday, home anniversary. You be like, hey, I know your anniversary is put that in blank. It'll come up. Your first name, your last name, your team name, and you can also insert a link for your KW app, not the command app, the one where you can send to people for them to contact you and stuff. So that's how those merge tags work. The merge tags are ways to make something generic more personable or personalized when you send it to someone. Yeah, so that's the email. So this is different from those are they're called merge tags, and the tags you're talking about are the contact tags. This is just to be able to pull information from those contacts that you've made to add it to the text of whatever you're sending. Merged it and the tag merge tag is a weird way to put it, and I don't know why it's called that, but the merge tag are just those few categories. So real quick, I'll do it again in here in a second. But the send the text, this is something you do have to pay for if you want to use it. It's a service called Twilio. It's pretty inexpensive, and I can show you how that works. You just have to sign up for it and link it up in your command like you would DocuSign. See, it says Twilio is not connected, so it won't let me send a text. But real quick, I'll show you the merge tags again. So they're called merge tags for an unknown reason to me. But those tags are simply, it'll put something in here and it makes it specific for each person that you're sending this to. And that would be their first name situations here. So static and dynamic texts, if you want it to send more than one text, it doesn't have to be the same text every time. If you want to send multiple texts to someone, you can do up to 6 within a smart plan to avoid repetitive text messaging. That way they don't just unsubscribe immediately once you send them the same text message twice in a row. That's completely up to you what you want them to say, and you can adjust them, and you can just do one if you want. And you can also do them individually if you want. So you can send one text here and then add that step and then send another. So we're going to add another day and then send another text. And then you can adjust this text independently anyway. So, excuse me. The only reason that you might want to do this is if you're going to repeat a step. That's why it might have those dynamic ones. So that is how you make your own smart plan. And then if you really want to get super in depth in it, you can have chains of smart plans. So once one person goes through a 30-day smart plan that you have, you can use this option to add them to another smart plan afterwards and just keep them. You could put them in a continual loop where they go through different smart plans for a whole year and then they start back at the beginning of the next one. So it's really a system that you'll have to work on however you want to do it, because everybody's going to do this differently, because you can do it however you want to. Like I said, your imagination is the ceiling. So if you don't have a good idea of how you want to do this, there's so many people in this building that can give you a good idea of how they use smart plans. I'm here to just tell you how they work. I don't have a good idea of a smart plan for you to use other than that monthly neighborhood nurture. I highly recommend you at least start with that one. So I'm not going to save this because we really didn't do anything new there. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. So that is the smart plans as generically as I can put them. If you have questions about these later, feel free to find me, schedule an appointment. If you're not familiar with how to schedule an appointment with me, just I'll show you that real quick, actually, since we are sharing screens. You just did? Okay, cool. So you just go to kwbresources.com. And I think you can still see this on this. Can you see this on the screen, on the share screen? Let's see. Yeah, you can see it on the share screen. Good. So, oops. Oh man, what have I done? Minimize. Go back. So up at the top, one thing I would recommend, once you get everything sorted with your contacts and everything, go here and schedule with Jules and Leah. It's a free service and they are the best. They'll help you so much. And eventually once you get going, they also have
even further services they can offer that you can pay for, but they do have free services that they offer. So definitely schedule something with them to see how they can help you, because they're great. Then this is me. You can book on my Calendly, and I am here Monday through Thursday, and you can book from 9 a.m. to 12:30, and then 12:30 to 1 I'm in the hub for generic help, whatever you need help with. And sometimes it takes forever for it to load my schedule. But this is where you can book for help with anything KW Tech, which is DocuSign, Command. I can try to help with other things, but those are the things I know the most about and I can help with. And this is also where you book to learn the media room, because I am also the guy who will help you with the media room. Try again. What? Okay, there we go. So you can see Monday through Thursday, pretty wide open most days. People are scared of me, I guess. I don't know. So you can book here, and then it'll ask you questions just so I know what we're trying to work on. If you book here for media room purposes, I will book the media room for you, and then I'll teach you how to use it, all that good stuff. So that is obviously more advanced than orientation week, but just so you know where to go. So let's go back to Command. So we've gone over the smart plans. And again, if you have further questions about smart plans, just go book a session with me and we can go over it a little bit better. Next step is referrals. So my referrals page is going to look a little different because, again, I'm not a real estate agent. So this is where if you have a referral for someone, or you're trying to get some referrals, this is where you would go. So your network would be people that you've worked with before. If you have someone you're like, oh, I have a referral for this person, I need to go find them, you would do it through here. So it's all in the network that it needs to be to make sure everything is done properly. You can also go to a map to find these people. So we'll allow, while visiting this site, and you can look at referral patterns. You can see where people are moving from and to. So let's see. Let's do Charlotte, Carolina. Okay. How are we going to be this way? There we go. So you can see people moving from Charlotte to Asheville or to Raleigh is the most common of these top 20. I think we can switch it. So, and then Columbia, Myrtle Beach, Tampa, or Austin are the people moving to Charlotte. So if you know someone in these areas and you're like, hey, it's a big thing, people are moving to Charlotte, if you want to talk to me, we can look into it. This is just to kind of get some information. This is patterns, tells you what's going on. You can also look at production of individual places. So let's go back to Charlotte. So this is going to be individual agents. And you can find people. So I think this is Abby Wilson. She's in this building. If you've probably seen her. So this is just, it tells you, like, if you need someone you can trust in these areas, of someone move into this area to do referrals, you can look at their production and you can see how successful they've been, and you can know that they'll be in good hands because they're a KW agent who has all these numbers. So this is also a good tool. This may be a little more advanced than just giving you an overview. You may not. It's okay. You may not need this for a long, long time. How? What are you doing over there, dude? Just kidding. I got you. But you may not need this for a long time, but just to show you everything that Command has, I'm just going through this real quick. Next, opportunities is where everything you're going to do needs to be to keep things simple for you. So if you have someone who is looking to buy or looking to list, and they're not quite there yet, this would be under the cultivate of these different things. If you're setting appointments with them, they'll start showing up here when they're active, like if they're listing their house or they're buying a house, and then it's all these different stages, and it'll tell you where all these different people are. So This is where things might get a little tricky or confusing in general. So let's create an opportunity. So we're in the Ballantine market. This is going to be, let's say, a listing. And let's just do me. So you'll go through and you'll put all these different things. You can change the opportunity name. Typically, I like to make the address the opportunity name simply because that's what you're going to be searching for. Or you can do address and phone number. So I would just do like maybe even the numbers of the address and then the name. That's again completely your call. If you have a close date, you can put it. But again, only things with this red asterisk are needed to do this, to get this started. If you have a listing price, perfect. Go ahead and put it. You know your commission rate, go ahead and put it. And then you are going to put it in whatever phase you're in. So if you jump straight to appointment phase with someone, perfect. You don't have to click this cultivate. You can click appointment and be fine to go. So each of these 3 stages, cultivate is going to have 3 stages as well. So cultivate is if you're talking to someone and you're like, all right, this person watches the situation where you're like, I think this person's going to be looking to sell soon. I'm going to keep them on my watch list. I'm not going to contact them. I'm not going to bug them right now. I just know soon I'll look into it. Nurture is when you're trying to talk to this person about it. Hot is when you think that they're almost ready to sign with you. So it's just all these different stages. You can keep these things just so you know where you're at. And then appointment also has 3 stages. Active also 3 stages. So there's 9 total stages within the creating of a listing opportunity. So we start with cultivate and watch, and then let's create, and let's go into the opportunity itself. So in here, you can add the address, which will help you with DocuSign and later because it will pull the information from here to DocuSign, which is very helpful. Trust me, you're going to want to do that because otherwise you're filling out all the information every time and you don't want to do that. So here is where everything is going to live. So documents is going to be the most important part. And that's simply because that's where you're going to have to be keeping things to stay within compliance. So I'm going to go, let's call this a South Carolina listing, simply because that's where the house that I have here is for. So once you are in the stage where you've made this thing and you need documents and you need to sync with DocuSign, if you go to the documents tab and you check the kind of checklist you need here, and this will change based on this being a listing or a buying situation, or even a leasing situation. So there's all these different kinds of things. And this knows what kind of checklist it could possibly be based on those things that you've put. So if you're not seeing your type of checklist you need, that means you might have selected something incorrectly at the beginning. So just go through all those things as you get there. So once you get here and you select the right thing and you go to these different tabs, so listed means it's on the market. You need to have all of these different documents ready to go. So required means you have to have these. So required means you're going to go in through DocuSign and send to the people that need to sign them this South Carolina disclosure of brokerage, exclusive right to sell, personal property addendum, all these required things, required. There's so many. And that is simply to keep you within compliance, keep you within the law, and so you don't get in trouble and KWB doesn't get in trouble. So anything that says conditional, that is if you need these, you will also. So if you're doing a dual agency, yeah, you'll have to get this signed, but it's conditional, meaning so if you're not doing dual agency, you don't need this sheet. And then there's other ones for later on, like when you're under contract, there's going to be some that are optional. So the optional ones are, again, it doesn't hurt to have them. It's mostly if you have them, go ahead and put them on here kind of situation. But again, anything required, you have to have, and I think that'll be something I would recommend going to like a T group. If you're familiar with those that is going to be a very useful resource for you to know exactly which files these things are and how you can properly get them filled out. Because again, I'm not a real estate agent. So I can help you find these files if you can't find them in DocuSign, but I can't tell you how to fill them out. And like I said, there's 3 steps here in almost every situation, and they're all going to have some required ones, and they're all going to have some conditional ones, and again, optional ones as well. So the documents are the most important part for compliance. The offers and commissions are going to be, if you are listing a house and you have a new offer, you can add it here, just so you can keep track of everything. Vendors, if there's somebody you're using, if you have a vendor in your contacts, let's say it's like a home inspection type place, you can tie them to this opportunity so you know who you're working with on all these different things as well. Anything note-wise that you have, you can add some notes here. It's a little tab here. It's whatever you want to assign to that. And then timeline, it'll show you when you've done things for this. So you can know where you're at, what's next on the list in your head kind of situation. Any questions about this opportunity situation? Okay. It's like I said, it should be pretty straightforward, and it'll make more sense once you have your first opportunity yourself. You'll go in and you'll have this information ready to go. And again, if you start doing it and you can't figure it out, I'm here. There's agents in the building that are happy to help you with all this stuff, and the T groups will really, really help you with all this as well. Real quick, just so you can see the difference, let's go real quick, and I'm going to delete. Oh, I already had to. I could have just used those. We're going to archive this one. So that was a listing that I did. Let's go to a buyer one just so you can see what it looks like. All right. So in here in the documents tab, see, it's going to be it's a different checklist of things available checklist wise because this is a buyer opportunity. So you see the list is significantly different simply because it's completely different because it's different files needed for a different kind of transaction. So that's the gist of opportunities. I think that's pretty straightforward. And if it's not, feel free to contact me. Campaigns. So campaigns is a little strange simply because designs and Canva's new to our ecosystem at KW, and it's not integrated into Command simply because we still have this designs thing here. And designs, you can still come in here and create things to send out through campaigns, which the campaigns is where you can post to social media through here. You can set up paid ads. You can do direct mail through here if you want to mail out to people, which I don't know if anybody still does, but you're welcome to try that. You can do paid ads, emails, social posts, all these different options. It's all in here. And it's completely up to you. So you have 5,000 email sends with command mail. I don't know that this number might be tied to your smart plan as well. I'm not 100% sure on that because smart plans obviously send out emails as well. So that's a question I don't have the answer to, but I'll figure that out. But 5,000 is still a lot, obviously. So you might be okay. And if it's not, you can always click upgrade account. Well, maybe not. Well, you got 5,000 emails. And that may be, I don't know if that's per month or whatever, but that's a lot of emails. And if you find yourself coming close, we can figure it out. Direct mail, you would have to create a campaign. I don't know how much that costs. Let's see. So let's do advertise listing, and we'll go through the motions here. Click advertise listing, create a campaign. Oh, we're going to do a name. So we'll do test. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Well, never mind because I don't have a listing to promote. So, oh, here we go. We can see the budget at least. So for 200 mailing things for this, if you want to do just regular postage, it's $164, which
that doesn't seem too crazy considering, but you can still just send emails and it's free. So I don't know that you want to spend $164 on mail that people are probably just going to throw away. That's up to you though. Don't let me talk you out of it. You can add QR codes to your postcard. I mean, you can do whatever you need to do with it because the content, and another thing I want to recommend to you after today, send me an email, robmiller1@kw.com, and I will send you the link to log into Canva for the first time. Because Canva is free to KW agents and it is the best resource that you can have to create designs, stuff for social media, anything that you would want to put on a direct mail, an email. Canva is so much easier to use than this designs thing. I mean, you can look through designs if you want to, but I don't recommend it. The only thing I would say that you would need to do to design in the designs tab is import a design here from it where it says import design, import it from Canva. And then if you want to send it out through emails, through campaigns or social media posts as well, you can do that. So this is social posts. You can link your business Facebook page to this and schedule posts through command. So the reason that, I mean, you can also do that through Facebook if you want, but the reason you might want to do it through here is this is where your business lives in command, at least for now. I know a lot of teams might use a different database if you go to a team somewhere potentially. But this one is free to you and it's where your business is going to live for now. So I would recommend doing as much as you can within command while you can, and it's free. Keep that in mind. So this is where you can schedule social posts. You can create campaigns. You can add payments. So all that's in here within the campaigns. And again, this might be getting ahead of schedule for you. But this is just a command brief overview. So that's the campaigns tab. Reports. This is where you can see all of your numbers. Anything you could want a report on, you can probably find it here. So if you want to know how many texts and calls you've made, if you're like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Maybe you are and you just don't feel like you are. You can see the numbers. If you're on a team, you can see team numbers. It'll show you awards that you've won or people around you have won. So there's all these different reports you can go through here. Again, the only thing I dislike about the command thing is that whenever you have it minimized, some of these don't really tell me what they are by just looking at them. So if you're ever on here and you can't figure out what button's what, if you just click the red KW button up here, it expands it so you can see the names of these things because some of these are weird looking. So we went over designs briefly, and again, very briefly, because don't use create. I probably am not supposed to tell you not to use this, but just use Canva and I'll show you and I'll give you the link for Canva. And then you just come in here and import a design if you want to. Bless you. Once you want to use it. The next thing on here is listings. When you have listings, yours will show up here. Obviously, again, I am not a real estate agent, so I don't have listings. But when you do have listings, they'll show up here, and this is where you can just go to see your different listings and get information about them. You can also go to the MLS website. That is not something I can help you with because, again, not a real estate agent. I don't have access to MLS. Websites. This is where you can edit your website. You can do this as generically as you want, or you can get in depth. There is an expert mode as far as editing your website. Hello.
Really quick thing, because we can relay it over the microphone.
Okay.
Anybody in this morning, you know how we're doubling up today's session, we've got, Carter will step in, after Rob's done. If you guys end early today with Rob before 11, just use that as an opportunity to stretch your legs, go grab something to eat if you would like to. We'll start back up at 11 with Carla for the snack. And you guys probably will get out of that class early as well.
I'll leave this Zoom running. Is that correct? Because I only saw one session, so I figured. Okay.
We've got these little microphones right here, and you'll just press the button, light up the screen, and then you can communicate online that way.
Or you can wear this fancy one that I'm wearing.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to be fancy, that's fine, but that's up to you. takes special privileges. But yeah, you guys can stop Carla later. She'll be online. But I wanted to make sure you guys knew if you get out early, go stretch your legs and then come back for 11. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
All right. So if you're on the Zoom and you didn't hear what she just said, just to really relay the message, we probably won't go to 11 with my stuff. And as such, take that opportunity to take a break, go stretch your legs, get some lunch if you'd like. But at 11 is when the next session of the orientation will start, and the Zoom will not be closed. It will just keep running until then. And then Carla will come on at 11 with y'all to go over some more stuff. So let's continue. So the website, this is your website. So if we click launch website, it's going to take you to my website. And again, like I said, I'm not a real estate agent, but I do have a website because I am a KW employee. So if you were to go to robmiller1.kw.com and do a thing to contact me, it would send me an email and I would get you with a real estate agent that is not me. Again, I am not one. But this is where it's already built up for you. If you don't do anything with it, it's still there. And it's got the picture you provided. It's got the name, where you're from, all that good stuff, phone number, email address. Everything's already built in here. But you can change it. You can make it better. So we can go to manage website. And it'll bring up what it looks like exactly. Now, this is significantly what I would call an advanced situation. So if you don't feel comfortable with this, you can A, hire Jules and Leah to help you. B, just let it live as it is until you feel more comfortable, or just don't touch it at all. That's completely your call. It depends on how digital you want to be with it, I suppose. So there are these generic things over here. You can adjust individual things. You can delete stuff not from here. You can change the name of this page. So this says about Keller Williams. So you can change it to like about us, and boom, it changes it immediately. However, when you're done with everything and you have it the way you want, you're going to click publish. Now, I'm going to close without publishing. This is very generic changes. If you want to get into non-generic and start really tinkering, there is expert mode here. Expert mode, you can do so many things. You can mess it up real bad if you're not careful. That is called expert mode for a reason. So if you click on it and you click take a tour, it'll tell you how to do things. But I'm just going to explore on my own. And if you look at this, this might be confusing to you because I've worked on building websites before, and this is a little confusing to me. So it's got everything. All your different pages are here. The default pages about the agent. So you can click on these different things and you can delete things that you don't want in here. You can change things. Now, anything that is auto-populated, like see Keller Williams Connected, I'm not there anymore. That was the one in Fort Mill that I used to work at. I can't change that part. That's something you have to contact Scott Leroy Marketing about because all that information is stuff that they have. So let's click hide and see what that does. So since it's not right, and I'm like, all right, until that's fixed, I don't want it to show up. I just clicked hide and it took it away. But that also got rid of my phone number. So that's a bad idea. So if this was really my website, I would keep it for now and just and contact him to get him to fix it. But anything that doesn't look fixable here, you can also, I think there might be a help situation somewhere. No, this is just a guide. Okay, it's on command. So if you're in command and you have website questions, this little button up. Okay, first, let me backtrack. With any question you have in command, that's an issue like you're having, this little question mark, and you can do chat with support. If I'm not available, this is your next best thing. And sometimes, even if I'm available, I'll tell you to do that because sometimes it's out of my control. And that will get you with someone who is specifically designed, specifically here to help with command stuff. So sometimes command goes down. Sometimes there's issues within it that it's a bug, it's a genuine bug, and they may not know about it. So chatting with support can help you. It can help other agents in the process because sometimes they just don't know that these issues are existing. So their support is very helpful and has fixed, as far as I'm aware, every issue that I've ever come across that someone's had that I couldn't help with. So that chat with support is going to be huge. And I would use that for literally anything. That they're getting paid to help, so don't feel like you're bothering someone. That is going to be the best. If you take nothing else from today, let it be chat with support is going to be your best friend when issues arise. So that is basically the gist of command. As you continue to use command, more questions will come up naturally. So again, you can always contact me. And if I don't know the answer, I'll point you in the right direction, or I'll point you to someone who might be able to point you in the right direction. I can either point you to Scott Leroy Marketing, who is the best. And actually, let's go to their website real quick since we got time. I think it's that. Yeah, scottleroymarketing.com. If you go there, so the very first thing you see, new agent onboarding and tech support. If you go to onboarding and tech support and get started, you're going to see, no, that's not what I'm looking for. There's a place. He has a place where there's videos. That's on there as well, but there's some stuff here. Maybe there's a login process. Let's go to kwbresources.com. But the YouTube channel is also a good thing. So on-demand training. Oh, I forgot this. Heck yeah, dude. Okay. Command on demand will take you to their YouTube. Yeah, so that's fine too. Well, and he updates it all the time. See, even one day ago, what can Scott Leroy Marketing do for you? So that's a good resource. No, that's our YouTube. That's not what I'm looking for. And here's Jules and Leah. Like I said, make sure you book with them. Let's see. Okay, this is a good thing too. DocuSign if you have issues. Now these may be out of date, and if it is, you can always check with me. There's more. Second. Yeah, it's just all taking us to the Scott Leroy Marketing YouTube channel. So that's a good place to start. But there is another place, and I just can't remember where it is. Once I figure it out, I can once y'all sign up for some one-on-ones, I'll get you that information. So yeah, does anybody have any questions? I mean that's the overview, and that's what we're here for. And obviously things may not make a lot of sense until you dig into them. But that's it. That's the gist. Is there anybody on Zoom with, oh, somebody on Zoom said it. Oh, there we go. Audrey, thank you for the password. If you have any questions on Zoom, you can either ask them now or you can book a session with me and we can go over it one-on-one. I would highly recommend you do that anyway, if you've not sat with me. And we can go through smart plans and we can get you set up. And also I can help you import your contacts, which is a very important thing. So real quick, I can guide you vocally through how to import your contacts. And let's see. So if you open your KW command app, I'll go real slow just so you can. Wrong person. Sorry, I haven't logged into the app in a long time. And anytime you log into a KW website or app or anything, it's always gonna, if it's been a while, it's gonna ask you for a security code. So keep that in mind. That is also bogging me down right now. Hold on one second. Here we go. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so once you're in the KW command app on your phone, there's a couple tasks. Sorry, a couple steps to it. You're going to see on the bottom your bar, you're going to click the one that looks like your contacts. And then once you're in your contacts, you'll see your list of contacts. But then there's the three dots to the top right, and there's a thing on there that says import contacts. And it's that simple to get started with that. So once you do that, it's going to ask to access your contacts on your phone, like a Apple pop-up if you're on an Apple or an Android, however that works on there. It'll pop up and it'll ask you if you want to allow access, and you have to make sure you hit yes or whatever the equivalent to a yes would be for that situation, because if you don't, it'll take some doing to be able to do it, because you'll have to uninstall the app and reinstall it and then do it again and give it permission then. So once you do give it permission, then though you can select individual contacts you want to import, or you can import all of them, which is my recommendation. Yeah. So when you go into the contacts tab, you're going to click the three dots and you're going to click import contacts. And then it's going to ask to get access to your contacts. And you have to say yes the first time, because if you don't, you got to uninstall the app, then reinstall it. Yeah, that it's a real hassle. So make sure you read the pop-up, because it is an important pop-up in this situation. I know a lot of times it's asking if you want to give access to things and you don't want to for most other apps, but this time you do. You do need to give it access. So once you do that, you should be able to then either select individual contacts you want to import, or you can select all of them, which is what I recommend. What I recommend, import all of your contacts, and then from there, cull them within command on a website, because cull and also clean up. So you're going to want to, and like I said, you may not be able to import anything but the name and the phone number, which is unfortunate. And if that's the case, you'll have to go in and add the information that you need to add from other things. So, yeah, what's the question? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, it should know the ones that are already in, because it won't import duplicates. I say that, however, sometimes it will, and you'll have to go, and I can show you that real quick. So let's. Right. Right. And that's the thing I was going to show you. So you can always go to your contacts and then click the little check for duplicates button here. And if it finds things like the same phone number or the same address, it might think they're duplicates, but you can tell it those aren't duplicates, and then it'll. But I would highly recommend, once you import everything, to do check for duplicates, just in case you did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it knows. It knows what's not already in there. And so if you've already done a mass import, the next time you want to import stuff, it might be best to do individual ones for sure. So, yep. So, so when you click names or individual names, all these here appear. You can archive from here. Don't know that you can. Just archive. I think it's just so you don't accidentally delete anything. Because even if you go into it, I don't know that you can delete from within. Let's see. Yeah, so just archive. Yeah, archive is going to be the only way, unfortunately. It's just because it's if it was delete, it would be irreversible. So I think it's just archive does the same thing and it doesn't take up any storage space, so it might as well leave it. Yep. All right. Anybody have any other questions? If not, Carla will be with you in about 40 something minutes. And use that time to schedule a one-on-one session with me to go over some more stuff. Or schedule with Leah, get you some lunch, do whatever you need to do. But Carla will be with you at 11. And it was nice to meet you, and I look forward to talking to you later.
Come on. Good morning, everybody. Is there anybody in there in the room? Ah, I see one person.
We are here. I think we're muted. We have a microphone in here.
Okay, okay,
There are at least 3 of us right now.
okay.
And I believe some online, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I see one online. I'll start in I'll start in a minute or so, okay? I lost my. All right. It's 11 o'clock, so let's get started. Are you guys ready? I hope.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so my name's Carla. I am the compliance coordinator. So I check everyone's documents. Um, I check everyone's documents when you submit them in command. I'm trying to get my what do you call it up? Anyway, so that's what I do. And your job is to submit those documents to me in a timely manner. Okay. And so we will go over that. The obviously the title of this is Bulletproof Your Transactions to Get Paid Faster. And I'm here to help you doing that. The first thing you want to do, obviously, is get all of your documents in order. Actually, the first thing to do is get a client. Are you all new, or are you have you had any transactions? New to KW, okay. Good. So, well, welcome to KW, Valentine. It is a great office to be in for sure. So anyway, what you're going to do is get everything in order. You want to start with DocuSign, and you want to start with Command. Now, I know you just went over Command basics with Rob. Is that correct? A couple hours ago?
Correct.
Okay, good. So hopefully he walked you through a bunch of stuff. I'll also go through some stuff, but probably a little more detailed with the documents, okay? So if you have a listing, the first thing you want to do is put everything into MLS. if they didn't do a firm exclusive. You want to get all of your measurements done. You want to get your disclosures in there, all the photos, and obviously you'll learn how to do that later on if you haven't already. Also, when you're in there, you want to do the showing time instructions. Okay, so get all that stuff done early. Sometimes there's a delayed marketing, meaning if they sign the contract, the agreement on today, so the 7th, and they don't want to go active until Monday, still do everything that you can so that you're not rushing to get things done and perhaps missing something. You want to get everything done early and accurately. Okay, so let's go over to KWBresources.com. Have you been into that yet?
Yes.
Okay. I do
Yes.
want to show you a couple things that are really, really helpful. Let me share my screen. Hang on just a minute. Okay, you should be seeing the office calendar here in my Keller Williams Valentine. Is that correct?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. So I'm scrolling up to the top, and this would be your home page. What I want to share with you is the checklists that are really helpful in doing all of your command documents. Okay, so what you're going to do is go up to the top and go to Office Resources. Okay, then you're going to scroll down here to Forms and Checklists. All right, click on that. You're going to need that password, which did you guys get the password yet?
Yes, we have that.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, good. It's capital B AMC 350. And this will bring you to the forms and checklist. So let me go through the checklists first. And this is something that Sabra has created to make it easier for you to keep track of your documents and when they should be submitted. The important thing is when they should be submitted. I've been doing this. I've been checking documents for, I think maybe 8 years now. And so many don't submit their documents in time. And then after closing, they have to go back to their client, get some signatures, get a missing document. And it doesn't really look that professional. So these forms here that you're seeing are helpful in helping you to submit on time and what needs to be submitted. In Command, I don't know if Rob showed you an opportunity or not, but there's also the checklists, but it doesn't have a timeline. So I know many of you don't even do paper documents, but those that do, you can download these documents and then refer them to your computer or phone or however you access your documents. I print out and like to have a paper document so I can check off when I'm done with something and it looks like it's accomplished. I've accomplished something and I know it's completed and I know it's on time. So let's go into North Carolina listing. Okay. And you'll see it's nice and colorful. Sabra made it nice and colorful. And you'll notice here it says first step for review, submit for review. I keep asking her to change that word. It's not review in DocuSign, but it's in command. Okay, so that word should say command. And because I can't see your DocuSign account. Okay, so if you say, oh, I put it in DocuSign, I can't see it. I only see your command account. Okay. So you'll notice that there's the working with real estate agent and the listing agreement. If there's a coming soon or a firm exclusive, add those. Then here's where your MLS data sheet comes into play. You want to make it in command, you want to put the agent full view. Okay, so when you go to print and save it to your downloads to upload into command, it's the first one it's already set. You don't have to choose one. There's also client full view with pictures. There's several options that you can do to choose which one you want to print. It's the first one, agent full view. Okay. So all those, the ones specifically I look for is the working with real estate agent and the listing agreement. Those need to be submitted for review within 3 days of signing. Okay, so if they sign today, they should be submitted by Friday, really, into command. Okay.
Carla, may I
yes.
interrupt? I have a question. So you said 3 days, but the first document working with real estate agent disclosure, that can be submitted together with other documents, right?
It could be submitted with the
I
listing
mean,
agreement.
if I have only the first document signed working with a WREA
Yeah.
and disclosure, should I submit? Because it will be a quite, say, a few weeks between before I head to next document.
Yeah, you could submit it, and that's what you should do. You can submit it, and then obviously that document will be approved, but the whole folder won't be approved until
Oh,
all the documents are in there. But
okay.
that's no big deal.
Even I have only one document, the first document, I still need to submit it, right?
Within 3 days of signing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm already delayed. Is that okay?
Well,
Because
you're not the only one, so don't.
yeah, I was told, that document probably you don't want to submit that one just for the single document there.
I mean,
That will create extra
the
workload for
license
you.
law is to submit within 3 days of signing.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so those need to be, like I said, submitted within 3 days, and then I check them. I'm sometimes a little bit behind, depending on how many I get per day, but I usually check them within a day. Okay, and then you'll know, and I'll get into how I check them and what you need to do to correct them in a little bit. Okay, so if within 3 days of signing, then you go down to their second step, and then you want to submit these in command, submit for review with no later than 7 days before closing. Okay, so many people will put them in there and hit submit. I don't care, you just submit them as you get them. Okay, but these ones are the property disclosures, the mineral oil, the MOG, mineral oil and gas rights, septic or sewer and water, the agent discovery form, and then any other of the applicable documents, which is the lead-based paint, security system, vacant lot disclosure if you're selling just land. You're going to do the showing instructions. Okay. A CMA, and the measurements. Okay. If the water and sewer are provided by an HOA, then you need to submit the CCRs or the HOA documents. Sometimes people get the HOA budget. that shows that the water and sewer are paid by the HOA, but you need proof of that. And if you are submitting the CCRs with that septic and sewer, then you need to highlight in there where it says the water and sewer are paid by HOA. And that's important because I don't have time to go through every CCR that's been submitted. Okay, because sometimes it's hard to find. So highlight that area. Okay, so all those would be submitted within 7 days of closing. All right, then at closing, obviously you can't submit that before closing, but once you have closed, get a copy, and hopefully you'll get a copy of the complete CD or HUD or whatever. That's the buyers and sellers, because the sellers CD usually has the correct commission amounts in it. Okay, so I need to see those commission amounts. Okay. And the other thing to do, make sure you're checking that the CD prior to closing for any errors. Okay, because we've had people not get paid enough from the CD, and then they can't go back and make the change, so they've lost out on several thousands of dollars maybe. So make sure you're checking all of it actually for accuracy, especially for the the taxes and that. Okay. So you want to check that before closing. And then once you submit it in closing, it should be signed by by either buyer or and seller, or one or the other. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Obviously, if you are the listing agent and you have it in MLS, in the closing folder, you will submit the closed MLS. Okay. So once you close it out in MLS, then in Matrix, then you are going to hang on just a second. You're going to close it out and then upload the closed MLS sheet into Command. Okay, so that's an example of the listing checklist. How do you guys like this? Do you think it helps?
Definitely.
Yeah. I agree. I used it for every transaction I had, so it's just a helpful little tool to have. So there's one. So this is the listing, North Carolina listing, and then this sheet next to it is the listing sale. So once it goes under contract, these are the other ones that should be submitted, like the offer to purchase and the compensation agreement. All those would be submitted into DocuSign within 3 days of signing. Okay, so any of the major documents that need to be signed by all parties would go in within 3 days of signing. All right, so again, all of these other documents would be submitted no later than 7 days prior to closing. And then the closing. Okay. Then they have the North Carolina Buyer Agency file. And it's basically the same thing. You're going to do the working with real estate agents and buyer agency agreement submitted within 3 days of signing. And then all the other documents within 7 days. And then the closing folder submit at closing. And don't submit, you're going to get a copy of the CD. Don't submit that prior to closing. I've had several people do that, and it's like, well, it's not closed, so something may change within that time. So just make sure it's the completed, fully executed copy of the CD. All right, everybody clear on these checklists? There's the same for, there's a South Carolina buyer, South Carolina listing, okay? And then also there are these North Carolina, South Carolina comparables. So if you're thinking North Carolina, and it's like, oh, I'll just use the North Carolina listing agreement. No, you need to use South Carolina. And then here you can reference what form would be needed for that's the document that you need. Okay. Does that make sense? All right.
Carla, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Can you speak up a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Chris Bell. Is that better?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
What is the difference between the listing sale checklist and the listing checklist?
Okay. So the listing checklist is all your listing documents. So it's the listing agreement. The buyer or the seller completed the property disclosures and the MOG and everything else. Okay. In the listing sale, this is when you go under contract. So it's the offer to purchase. It's the receipt of monies.
I see.
Okay. So this is after it goes under contract.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, these are the two documents, the page 1, page 2 thing, right? It's like,
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody good with the checklists?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go now to the
Carla, one more question. For instance,
Okay.
here, offer to purchase, so the page 2, right? That's actually from the buyer agent, right? Or from the buyer side.
Right. Right.
Okay, we get a copy, we signed, and we upload for your review.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And I'll show you all that once we get into command here in a minute. There's a couple forms in South Carolina that are kind of different. South Carolina, when you have a vacant land that you're selling, there isn't really a form that's standard, I guess, for the lot. So Sabra made the lot and land disclosures. It's almost like a property disclosure for land. So this is what you would use for South Carolina. There is one by the commission that's for North Carolina, but don't use that for South Carolina ones. Use this for the South Carolina ones. What else is different in South Carolina? Yeah, but you could look in here. Oh, this professional services disclosure is another one that is not there's not a form in the South Carolina Commission, but Sabra made this form, and this is what you would use for South Carolina buyers. Okay. I think those forms are, and I know they are, in DocuSign. There's a special section that it's a menu that Sabra created for KWB 350 in DocuSign that you can choose, and it's all the in-house forms. Okay. And there's other samples, and of course the affiliated business disclosure, the title insurance, and what else is in there? This addendum that Sabra has created. Okay, this is for when you are changing. Actually, I don't know about this form. This is when you're changing your commission to match what's on the 220 or the 120 in South Carolina. And we'll get into that in a little bit. So just look over, just keep your eye out on these forms. If you're sending a referral to someone, you need to send them our W-9. That is in here as well. So just look for our W-9, the office W-9. It's in here somewhere. I'll find it in a minute. Here it is. Okay, this is the 2026 already in here. Put that, just submit that with your referral to another agent. Again, when you're getting a referral, if you are receiving a referral, make sure you get their W-9. Okay. So all that stuff would be found in here. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. All right, now let's see. I need to share my other screen with you. Are you seeing my command screen?
Yes.
Oh, you are. Okay. Good. Okay. As a buyer and seller, obviously you need to know and keep in contact with your client, with the agent, whoever's, if it's the buyer's agent or the listing agent, you need to be in contact with them. You need to know the attorney. You need to know, be in contact with the attorney and the lender to make sure things are still running smooth and that the closing date is still achievable, I guess. Okay. Any questions on that? That's pretty much standard stuff. Once you have a contract, if you're the buyer, once you have a signed contract, immediately send it over to the attorney for the closing and schedule your closing. I'd do that right away because they fill up pretty fast. And along with that, now with that offer to purchase, you're going to send along the 220 or the 120, the compensation agreements to the lender so they know how to distribute the commission. Okay. So this is my command. This is what I do, what I pick up, what I log into every day, just so I can check all of these documents. You can see that a lot of them have been resubmitted and approved. I'm going to go into a buyer agency So here's the buyers. Okay. Do you know how to make an opportunity in Command already?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Teaching us this morning.
Show you? Let me see. Hang on. You should now be seeing my DocuSign. And if you're not, let me know. I'll just go along with it here. This is the buyer. I created this room here in the buyer. I think I can do start a opportunity through this. So in your DocuSign, so when you're getting ready to get these documents out to your clients, and you need to get all the documents ready. In the details section, click edit and then put in as much information as you can. So you want to put, as the buyer, you're going to scroll down on the right side to the buyer. There's all this listing agent. Here's the buyer. You're going to put their name. Okay. And then you can put their phone number and email. And their current address. Okay. Hopefully it's the United States that you're dealing with. Oops. And then North Carolina or South Carolina. And it's okay. Then the second buyer, same thing. And then your name, your number, email, put the company, put the company, KWB, Keller Williams Valentine, and our address. It's 14045. What is it? Valentine Corporate Place and Suite 500. Okay. And then complete all that. Even up here, then with all of your, all of this, if you have a address already, put that in there. You can do that later. You can put in the offer date, anything like that. These are not actually required, but it does help when you're doing the documents. Okay, so once you get, if you have a buyer side commission, put that in there. You don't have to worry about all of this unless you want to, and then save it. So all the information you can put in this is going to help you be able to do the documents. Oh my gosh. Okay. And now you add a document. Okay. Oh, oh gosh. This is interesting. I didn't know we were moving to zip forms so soon. Did you know that?
No.
I don't know. Shoot. Well, that doesn't help me. Okay. Well, anyway, you're going to be using zip forms, apparently. And those forms are, you were going to log in, apparently, and then you're going to find those documents, okay? And they'll say North Carolina buyer side, North Carolina listing, South Carolina, et cetera. And they'll all also be the office document ones. Okay. And then when you upload them, all that information that you put in the details section is going to be in already pre-filled out in the documents. Okay. So that makes it much easier to complete that, to fill those out. Let me go to a different room here, so one that I already have going, and I can show you. Let me see if I edit. No, I didn't want to edit. I'm going to documents. Let me see if I add. Oh, there's DocuSign forms. Okay, see how I said the North Carolina listing, South Carolina or North Carolina sales, and all that other stuff. And then here's the KWB 350. And these are all of the forms that are in office documents. Okay. Anyway, once you put one in there, let me just put down the affiliated business disclosure, put that in there. Everything that you have, which isn't much for this document, it's pre-filled. So basically the pre-fill is the buyer and the address, okay? Which is nice because then you don't have to painfully fill out each form, okay? So once you know that that's correct, you save and close. Do you know how to do all this? The envelope, then you put it in an envelope and let them sign it. So another thing, once you have, especially like a listing agreement that, let's see. So if this is on the form, this is how it's going to come. With the check mark, it's already signed, okay? So if you need to fill anything extra out in the form after it's pre-filled, you click on it. This is before you send it off for signatures. So you're just going to complete everything. It'll come up. And then anything that you need to add in here at any time, you put that in there, okay? Let's say, oh, I want to, the refrigerator, okay, would be, you could add that in there, okay? Because that won't be in your details. But those kind of things you could add. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then when you complete all that, and then you save and close it, and make sure everything's in there. I always tell people to make sure if it's a blank, if nothing's going to happen, put NA. That way nobody can go and change something for you. Behind your back, I should say. Okay. So if it's not applicable, put that in there, NA. All right. And then obviously then you send you upload it, put it in an envelope, let them sign. Now, so let's say they've signed it. Look how many listing agreements I have. Here, here, and here. There's 3 of them. How do you know which one to upload into Command? If you go into your DocuSign and you know this is the completed, fully executed, all corrections have been made, go right click on it and rename it. So I have a little 1 by the fully executed. I put fully executed at first. You can see down here, and then there was another correction to be made, so I just put 1. Something to let you know that that document is correct, and that's the one you want to upload into Command. Okay? And then you would save that. And it would save with that in there. So when you go to upload it from Command, you're going to see a whole list. You're going to see this whole list of documents to upload, and you know which one to choose then. Does that make sense?
Carla,
Yeah.
do we need to manually upload? I thought there is a button synchronize. So to synchronize the DocuSign and
Yeah.
Command.
Um,
Is that right?
I don't know. Hang on. Let me go into my opportunities.
On the
So,
right, black sync with DocuSign.
I'm not sure how that works, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I did. So it's synchronized.
Oh, okay. And then you choose which one you want to upload. Is that correct?
No, I'm so new. I did only once. So once I complete all the whatever fields blanks I need to fill in
Yeah.
the document, and I move to envelope, right, and then send to the seller for signature. And once the signature is back, I think what I did is just synchronize it, so it will automatically goes to Command.
So I probably can't do that since I don't have any documents completed in here. But this says to go to DocuSign rooms then. I'm not sure. I'm not good with the DocuSign and how it works. All I know is that you need to upload them into Command. Okay. You will learn that through I don't know if Rob went over that, but you will be taught that in Ignite.
Okay.
Okay. So, but once you have these documents, you're going to attach files from Room Docs, or if you have them uploaded into your computer, then you go to My Computer manually, and then you would search in your files for the right document and put it in there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to see. That might be a new feature in Command as well, so I'm really not sure.
Carla, if I recall well, I think that's what Jenna taught us to synchronize the two
Okay.
book tours and to upload. If you get, for instance, you got a PDF document back, that's not created from DocuSign.
Yes.
We upload there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, yeah, you can do it that way. So let me go back into my other documents now. And so what you have to do is you hit one thing. The first thing you're going to do once you create an opportunity. I'm sorry, let me go. Come on. You're going to create an opportunity, you're going to go into your database. Okay. And whoever you have it, to create an opportunity, the person has to be uploaded into your database. Okay. So, I'm just going to search for. Okay. Then you're going to click on opportunities. And then usually it won't say anything. You're going to create an opportunity. Okay. And this is what's going to come up. So which type of opportunity are you doing? Listing or buyer? I want to go through buyers first, just because there's a couple other things you have to do here for a buyer. Okay. So anything with a red asterisk there, you need to fill out. Okay. With the opportunity name, it's good if you can put, since you don't know, you would just leave it like it is. But if you know the address, put that in the opportunity name, because it makes it easier for us to find it. Okay, then anything here, the opportunity phase, if you want to put active and they're searching for a house, okay? Or they can be, you can do searching or showing. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. And then that's all. And then you create the opportunity. Okay, and here it is. This is the date I created it. If you click on it, that'll bring you up to your opportunity room. Okay, and here it is. Again, the detail section, you don't have to fill in right away because it's just a brand new buyer. Okay, go to the documents section. Now you have to pick a checklist. I want to show you all the checklists in the buyers. So there's quite a few. If you'll pick a checklist right here, there's quite a few. Particularly if your buyer is looking for a new construction, if they're interested in going to Mattamy and picking out one of their houses, make sure you're picking the new construction sales, or North Carolina or South Carolina. I'm going to show you North Carolina. If you pick that new construction, you'll see in the under contract folder, there's not that many placeholders to choose from. And there's only 3, 4, 5, 6 required. Okay. So in your new construction, you're going to put your working with real estate and buyer agency agreement as always, and then the builder's contract, the builder's deposit, and the builder's commission agreement. Usually that's all within that one contract, but you need to separate those forms out, okay, and put only the commission agreement, only the deposit in there, okay? So that's what you do. That's what a new construction sales looks like. Now, if I go and choose a North Carolina, like a resale, here are your documents. Now it's a lot longer in the under contract folder. Okay, so there's a lot more forms that you need to submit for a resale. Okay. In a resale, you're going to have the consultation folder, and that consultation folder, this is something good. This should be within 3 days of signing. Okay, so you have your working with real estate agent and your buyer agency agreement. Those two things put in this folder. Once they're in, you're going to click this button, submit it to MC. That means it comes up on my queue to check. Okay, but it's important to click that. Otherwise, I won't see it. Okay, because it'll say in progress, and I don't check those because there's millions of them. Not millions, thousands maybe. Okay. Any
have a question.
questions on that?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
If you go over to, back over to the sale file, like you, I think you just pulled up one that said resale, North
Mhm.
Carolina. I don't have that on mine. Is there a reason?
Well, it doesn't say, it's the sale file.
Okay, I went to that sale. Okay, so it's just sale file.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, good enough.
And the sale file is for resales.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if it's a new construction, pick the new construction file.
Yes, ma'am.
If it's a resale, you're going to just click the sale file.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so then you have those in there and you've submitted it to me. Now you have the under contract folder, which has a whole lot of documents that are required. Okay, so again, this can be your secondary checklist along with the ones that you have from KWB resources. All the ones that say required, obviously, are required. Okay, which is the compensation form. If you don't see a copy, or if you need a copy and you can't find it in DocuSign, and if it's underlined here like this is, you can click on that and it'll bring up a blank document, and then you can download it here and use that. Okay, only the underlined ones can you do that with. Okay, so you have the compensation agreement, which should match your buyer agency agreement. Keep in mind, you can't increase your buyer's agency agreement. You can't increase the commission. You can decrease it, but you cannot increase it. Okay, so the big suggestion is put a higher amount in your buyer agency agreement. You can explain to your buyer that you're going to only accept what the listing agent is offering. Okay, but if you put a lower amount, if you put 2% and your listing, and then the listing agent says we're going to offer 3%, you can't change that. You're going to have to tell the listing agent, thanks, but I can only accept 2%. Okay, we've had several people have to return money because they can't increase that commission. Okay, so if you can put 4% in your buyer agency agreement, that's great. You can always decrease it. That's the law. You cannot increase it. Okay? And that, I get that a lot. So make sure, and I can't tell you, you'd have to take it up with either Sabra or Tasha or Sharon. Okay? So anyway, there's that. If your agreement, if your buyer agency agreement says 3% and the listing agent's offering 2.5%, then you have an extra 0.5% there. What are you going to do with it? You're either going to use the 710. Let me see if there's one down here. That is. You're either going to use that 710, which is the agency agreement amendment, and that will say it has a part for the compensation amount. You can reduce that to 2.5% to match the 220. Okay. Or you can use this statement of agency relationship and commission, which is the 725 form. This form is just a statement, and it basically will go to your attorney or to the closing attorney to state, okay, we understand that the listing agent is only offering 2.5%. My buyer is going to pay the extra 0.5%. And you're going to state that on there in that form. Have your buyer sign it. I think you sign it. And then you give that to the attorney. Because there's been a lot of attorneys or, agents that have not communicated to the attorney that the buyer's paying that extra 0.5%. I know a lot of the attorneys are asking for the buyer agency agreement, and we don't give that to them, but you can give them this statement of agency relationship and commission. Does that make sense? So if you're changing it to match, you're going to use the 710. But don't match up. You can only match down. Does that make sense? You can't change it up. And this one, the statement of agency relationship, is telling the attorney that your buyer is paying the difference between the 220 and what is in your buyer agency agreement. Those things are so important, and you should be getting hounded with that, because that is, we've had so many people think that they can just up their buyer agency agreement. You cannot go up. Okay? That's why it's conditional. So if it matches, you don't need to worry about either of these forms. Conditional, and if you're wondering if it's conditional, use this information button, hover over it, and it'll show you why it's conditional to match the 220. And this conditional is to clarify to the attorney the commission split. Okay, and then obviously your offer to purchase. This is required. The receipt, the last page of the offer to purchase is the acknowledgement of receipt of the monies, which is the earnest money and the due diligence. Obviously, if your buyer is only offering due diligence, I won't look for the earnest money. Okay, just put that in there. Sometimes the acknowledgement is on two separate pages, and I merge them, and I think you can merge them too. I'm not sure. A lot of people don't know how to merge them, so we've added this one. And if it's the receipt, if you have the due diligence up here and you have the earnest money in a separate, you could put the earnest money in here. Okay. But there's two, if they're on separate pages, the condition is if the both EMD and DDF are not combined on one page, you can use this as the second page. Okay. And then you want to get the copy of the MLS data sheet that is under contract. Again, use the agent full view. The property disclosures, the MOG, lead-based paint if it's before 1978, FHA if that's the financing you're using. Here's the agent, the septic or sewer and water. And then all these go with the buyer is the professional services disclosure. And then the title insurance, which is here. This is the blank page. If they're using Heritage Title, then you need to select which one of the policies to use. I'm not sure what the best one is. I think they've suggested the enhanced owner's policy, but I don't know. You can discuss that with the lender or whoever, the attorney. But anyway, this is the form to use. And then the affiliated business disclosure is this one. And all they need to do is read that and sign. Okay. And if these documents are checked on whatever page it is in the offer to purchase, there's the section with all the extra, like FHA would be checked, lead-based paint would be checked. If there's an additional provisions addendum that's checked, I will look for those in these in the list. If they're not there, I'll mark them as missing. Okay. So make sure in your offer to purchase, if any of those are checked on the last page, then make sure you have those documents in there. Okay. So that's how this is the under contract folder. So in the consultation folder, you have the working with real estate and the buyer agency agreement. Under contract folder has all the other documents. And then in the closed folder, you have your closing statement. It should be fully executed. And then any other, if there's a due diligence request, if there's an agreement to amend, all of these documents, since they're in the closed folder, think of it as, okay, the agreement to amend, you're changing your closing date, or you're adding an expense, a seller's paid expense, that would go to the attorney. So look in the closed folder for anything that goes to the attorney. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me go into command and then, yeah, and then you submit those. Okay. Let's go into a listed folder. So this person just did a listing. He's got his working with real estate agent and the listing agreement and the addendum. This is included now in all listings. And this is a Keller Williams form, Sabra made. Obviously, this will be denied because it's blank. Okay. Let me see. Let me go over this first. You've submitted all of your documents, and now you need to resubmit your listing agreement because you forgot something in there. Okay. It was returned. How do you resubmit something? Do you know how?
No.
Okay. I don't know if Rob told you or not. What you're going to do is you're going to go here. So if you have a new listing agreement that's been corrected and you need to upload that into here, you're going to click on this box to the right of that placeholder and click on it, and it'll say update. And then you're going to click on update. It asks why you're reloading the document. You don't have to answer that. And then just choose where the document is and upload it, and then click update. And you'll see here, it'll say updated. Okay. And it'll have the new form in there. Once you have updated it, you can just click on submit again, or resubmit, it says. Okay. So that's how you change, update a document. Don't add a placeholder, which you can do. So if you have CCRs or something that you need to put in here or choose to put in here, if you need an extra document, right here above the placeholders in this little shaded area are 3 large dots. You can click on those and you can add a document. You're going to name that document, and you can name it whatever it is. CCRs, sometimes people put the proof of funds in there. I don't care if that's checked, but you're going to put whatever that document is. Do not put, don't put a document name in there that's already got a placeholder. Okay, so if you're uploading or updating your listing agreement, don't put listing agreement and upload it there. Does that make sense? You're gonna update the current one, but this is for a document that's not listed in there that you want to add. Okay, so if it's a CCR, you have to put a document type, and I don't care what document type you choose. It doesn't matter to me. And then you're going to either put it from DocuSign or browse your own documents in your computer and then upload it there. Okay. Once you hit save, that will populate at the bottom of the list. Okay. You got that? So to update a current document, you click update. Okay. So to add a document that's not in this list, you use these 3 large dots here and add a document. Okay, so you have all your listed documents in this listed folder. Now you're under contract. You go into your under contract folder, and here's all the under contract. This is that second page that we showed in the checklists. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's this checklist. The cooperative compensation, the offer to purchase, the copy, and then once you put it under contract, get a copy of that and put it here, the under contract MLS. Again, your receipt of monies, these are all buyer signed now, property disclosures, mineral oil, gas, and then if needed, any other documents here. Okay. And that these are submitted, these 2 are submitted within 3 days, the purchase contract and the compensation agreement, and then the others, submit them as soon as possible within 7 days of closing. And then you go to your closed folder, and here you have your closing statement, your closed MLS, and any other documents that have been submitted. If as a buyer, if you have, if your termite or pest inspection is itemized in your CD, you will need a copy of that letter submitted. with new construction, they have a document called the subterranean termite builder's guarantee. It's a big long thing, but that's subterranean termite protection letter that needs to be in all the closed folders of new construction. You got all that? Are you guys ready to do another transaction now, right?
Oh, yeah.
You'll get all this. It'll come. Go to your classes though. I know Tasha and I will go through this all again with our class. It's called Bulletproof Your Transaction. Tasha will go into more details about what kind of communication you need to do for the lender and the attorney and everything. So let's see, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, always follow up with communications with all those people I mentioned earlier, lender, the closing attorney, just to make sure things are going along as anticipated. In your let me see. In South Carolina, see if I can find a South Carolina one here. Here was one. All South Carolina documents, or I should say transactions, you need to have a wire fraud warning. Okay, so this is with every South Carolina transaction. Make sure you have that signed, and make sure that oh, my screen just went. It just cuts out for a minute. It should come back. Here, there it is. Here's the wire fraud. Make sure they have signed it. Make sure you're going through that because there's been so much wire fraud incidents, as you know, going around. So I would frequently caution your clients about the wire fraud. Okay. So all of these is with the new construction, obviously, there's not many documents, like I said. So they've completed theirs. And what I'll do then is I hit approved. If there's something wrong, you'll see, I'm going to go to one that has a little, oh my goodness. Let me get you. Let me see. What one that says? Well, oh, here's one that says returned. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. All that my phone is blowing up, of course. So this one, they need this owner's disclosure. So I marked it as missing. You will get a little email from me. It generates from here. Once I return the folder, so it says returned. You'll get a little email saying, oh, you know, I don't know if it has my name. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if it has my name, but you're going to get an email saying that this is missing. You know, your folder has been checked and following items are missing, and it'll list all of these items. If there's something wrong, I can't find one that I've corrected. You're going to get a little note. Oh my goodness. Let me see. you know, everybody's been so efficient that I don't need to, here it is. Okay, so I have, this one has previously been, rejected, and then they completed it, but you see this little dialog box? It'll be red, here when I return something, and I'm pretty detailed about what's wrong and where it is. Okay, so if you hover over this little dialog box, it'll say what's missing, and it might be pretty long. And so correct everything that's on that list for that document before you resubmit it. Okay. So this dialog box will be red. So you're going to frequently come back into your command to check. Even though you might get an email, you can check it from there. But I would frequently go into your command and check to make sure that everything's been approved. Everything's, you know, if there's something missing, check with this little dialog box. It tells exactly what's missing and what you need to do to correct it. Once you have it corrected, then you update it, put the corrected one in there, and you can click either resubmit. I think it already says changed on there, and I do check the changed ones. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Any questions on that? If you want to leave me a note, here's an add comment button here. Okay, so you add the comment. Once you see, he put hello Carla, no EM deposit. There's something, I don't see this unless I just happen upon it. When you want to mention, when you want to specifically address me, you have to start with the @ symbol. Okay. That'll come up on my queue right away. Other than that, I don't see it until I happen upon that document. Okay. Does that make sense? So you're going to click the @ symbol and then choose who you want to address. My name will be in here. I can't do it now because it's me doing it. So, you know, just click who you want to address, type the note, and then add reply. Okay. Any questions on that? And then if you have a note from me in there, if you have, let's say you have several opportunities going and you see a little red dot up here by your name with that bell, you'll see that you have a whole bunch of, like I have a whole bunch of messages, and I get those messages when somebody submits a document. Okay, so if you have a red dot there in your bell, then click on that, and then you'll be able to see the note. And then once you say, once it says, once you see it and it says view request, it'll go right to the document, right to the opportunity. So this one here, I'll view this message and it takes me right to her opportunity. Okay. How are you guys doing? You sleep yet?
That's good information.
Okay, thank you. So you're looking, what you're looking for is to see it all be approved. Okay. If you're getting close to closing and it's not approved, You better get on it and make sure all the documents are correct. I think this guy, the phone call I keep getting is one that keeps asking me, how's my file? Please don't call me on that. Look in here and check. Okay. So in new construction, by the way, there's no documents in consultation. Everything is in the under contract. That's the only time that there's no consultation on a sales. Okay? Let's see. If there's any changes to documents, if you've made a change to your buyer agency agreement, let's say you went down in your commission, all changes need to be initialed by your client and by your client. Okay. So if it's the offer to purchase, it'll be initialed by your client and then sent over to the listing, or the other agent for their clients to initial, but it needs to be initial. Any change needs to be initialed. Any questions on that? All right. Let's go into, I'm going to go into one that has, oh, how did I get here? See if this person has this is, so all those things are important for all your files to be approved. You're ready for closing. What do you do next? And they haven't done it yet. This folder is in progress, meaning they've added a document, but they didn't submit it, and that's good because they shouldn't submit it until closing. What you're going to do is go into your offers tab. Okay, so that's very important. This is how you're going to get paid. And let me show you. Okay, you're going to go into your offers tab, and you'll see here it says this is like an offer now, and you're going to create an offer. So in here it should be create offer. And then you're just going to follow along on the prompts. It'll say, I believe this is everything that's in there. What's the price? How are they financing? If they're financing any part of it, I would put the total amount in finance. Okay, unless you want to do the math, feel free to, but you could just put it all in finance. Of course, if it's all cash, put it all in the cash part. Put your earnest money amount, the contract date, and the close date. Okay, once all that's done, you're going to click accept. So you've accepted that offer. If you're a listing agent and you've received multiple offers, you can put all of the offers in here that you've received, but then you're only going to accept the one that's going to close. Okay, obviously. So once that's done, it'll say go to commission, or it might just even come to this and it'll say manage commission. She's already done, so this is done. So her commission is done. So what it's going to do is, again, bring up all these questions or, fill in the blank, basically. And you're going to follow along on those prompts. It's one unit, it's only one transaction. And again, it's going to pre-fill your, all the stuff that was in the offer. Okay. Let me see where it says. Anyway, this is it. How much it, and this is Thomas, this is I shouldn't say the name, ignore the names, but this is a dual agent, so this is a team type of thing. But anyway, you're going to just follow along on the prompts and then click submit. Okay, very important that you click submit. And then it's going to give you an ID. This is how Lynn pays you. All this information goes to Lynn. She'll compare it all to the check that she receives, and then she'll pay you through this. Okay? So that's very, very important. Does anybody have any questions on that? And this I wouldn't do it after closing. I would do it before, because sometimes, Lynn, especially if you're doing McNaught and Clements, they'll send that check right over so we can process it the same day. So this is the one here. It says add a new offer. And here it is. You're just going to fill it, all these blanks, create and accept the offer. Once you have that, then it'll say manage your commission, and then manage, just again, like I said, follow along on the prompts, and then click submit. That's important. Okay. I don't know why it goes to there. Any questions?
Oh, man.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Just, you've just, follow along on, go to all the classes you can, because there's changes every day, it seems. Especially with that commission request, or the commission agreements. There's so much, I get that a lot with having to deal with all that. So if you get that right the first time, don't go up in your commission. You can only go down. Let's see. Referrals, again, there is a referral opportunity. Pick that in your checklist if it's a buyer or listing. Anyway, I think you guys have got enough information today, huh? Having 2 classes, you're probably exhausted. And I can't think of anything more. If anybody has any questions, you can email me or call or whatever. But anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Carlin.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for hanging in there for 2 classes today. All right, we'll see you guys soon, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
See you.
Oh, okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Gotta go. Team meeting.
I'm actually saying coaches meeting right now. Yeah. I'm not really sure. I don't-
Yeah, you were here yesterday.
Are you coming for the PJ? The buyer?
And now we are doing karaoke, so you have to pick your seat.